Hello everyone and welcome to this tutorial about how to use Google Cloud. What is Google Cloud? Some basic ideas you get from Google Cloud. I guess that you are here because you want to get the latest edge technologies about cloud, AI, and I guess that you already used the AI Studio to use the wonderful Gemini. And Gemini is not only on AI Studio, it's also on Vertex AI. So Vertex AI, this is the AI in Google Cloud. It has everything related to the latest technologies about AI on Google Cloud, but you also will have GKE, Kubernetes engine. You will have compute engine if you want to use VMs. If you want to use, for example, serverless like Cloud Run, all that, for example, Cloud Run, you can make it easier to host your containers and do the CI/CD in an easy way. So all that, it's on Google Cloud. So if we come to Google Cloud here, we will find that there are many products starting from developers using PaaS, platform as a service. If you want to do some data engineer, so if you would want to do data analyst, if you want to do data scientist, if you want to go to the infrastructure with IaaS, infrastructure as a service, everything is here. Security, enterprise solutions, everything is here. So now let's understand how this works. So I'm sorry for the webcam because I was using my phone now. I messed with the kernel, so I lost the driver. Now everything is messy, so I had to take some old 2005 webcam. That's why you see it like dream. So sorry for that. So let me draw something here. So the first thing we needed, of course, that's a Gmail account. So we have a Gmail account, and the second thing we did is to introduce some Visa or MasterCard. Why we do that? Because as you may know, since those cloud providers like Google Cloud, when they offer you $300, imagine it's only used by email account. You can someone can create many accounts and overuse this offer. That's why it's bound to credit card to make it easier to confirm that it's human, not a bot. So if we come back here, once we bound to a Visa or a MasterCard, this will create what is called a billing account. So the billing account, this is where things get like that's the money part of the cloud. So this billing account, we put the project and we connect it to a billing account. This project, then we have our resources. So we have like VMs, we have GPU, we have a serverless solution, all that. So the more we use, the more we get from this billing account. And since we opened a new project, we get already $300 for available for 90 days, which means that you can spend them in 90 days as you can spend them in 1 day. For example, if you overuse and get like the latest cutting edge VMs and bound to the strongest GPUs, you will get those money like use it in less time. But don't worry about this because we have the concept of quota, which means that there are some resources you need to ask to increase them, protect you from exploding your account. So that's what is called a quota. So here, when we said $300, which means that it's available everywhere. And you don't only have the $300. You also have what is called the free tier. What is the free tier? That's the service that get reloaded each month, which means that, for example, if we come to compute engine, you will have a VM, a virtual machine, available each month for free. So this VM, it must be available in US region, for example, West 1, Center 1, or East 1. It will have 30 giga of persistent disk, and you can host a solution and you get that public IP address for free. So you don't have to worry about that. So every month it gets reloaded. So you can host, for example, your personal website or anything. So that's free unless you exceed. So that's what is called free tier. So they are not included in the $300. And for example, if you do some the data analyst, you can use BigQuery. So you have 1 terabyte query per month, which is good. You can use Cloud Run for serverless solution. All that, it's free. So as long as you are respecting this amount of data or let's say CPU per minute or whatever. So you just click on it and then you get the details. Those, as long as you are under this limitation, it's free. Once you get up to this limitation, then you start paying. So if you are in the 3 months, you get from the $300. If you are outside the month, then we will see what you need to do. We need to create some alerts to get everything. So that's the first thing we need to understand. We need to understand how this works. So now, when we said the project, we have what is called the resources. Those resources, we don't see them as resources. We see them as APIs. So each time we need to enable an API to be able to use that resource. For example, for the VM, we need to enable some APIs to be able to create a virtual machine, to access to the virtual machine, because by default, that's the concept of zero trust. It's the least privilege, which means that once you open an account, all the APIs are disabled unless you decide to enable them, because you only use what you need to use, nothing out of your usage. Otherwise, you are going to pay some money. So the idea is to disable everything and then you start enabling them one by one. So for example, if I want to use a Vertex AI, then if I come here and then I type Vertex AI, as you can see, it's noted as APIs. So when you get the first time to any Google Cloud product, by default, you will find it disabled. Then you need to enable it first. Maybe there are some exceptions. Those exceptions, that's because that API, you don't have to pay for it. That's why you find it available. Otherwise, you just need to click and enable it. You don't have to work. So now that we configured everything and then we understood how Google Cloud works using this small sketch. Now what you need to do is to go here to billing, or for example, you can come to all products, and as you can see, that's the project. So I named it Vertex AI Sprint, and then here, so you come to billing. You can pin this to be available easily in the menu, and then in the billing, if you come here, that's the billing account, and that's the heart of your project. So the billing account, there is credit card bound to it, and then you have the free credit. So when you go to the billing account, you will find that place where you can see how much money you consumed, some prediction in future, some FinOps for people who use FinOps, and then you come here, credits, that's where you will see the free credit. You click on it and then you should have all the free credit you have. But before you do this, you need to configure a budget and alerts. because Google Cloud or any other provider will not do that for you. So you need to tell Google Cloud to alert you, not to stop the project. The project will not stop. So you need to create a budget here, click on create a budget, and here you name it whatever you want. This is a test, something just like this. And then you need this budget alert to work monthly. And now here, as you can see, there is a project, and then there is the services, or what we said, the API. So here, you just want to follow how much money you spent on the whole project or only on few services. And then we put everything by default. And then here, we tell them, for example, since we got $300, we ask them to check about this value, $300. And then we do next. And then here, we can create any threshold. So for example, I want him to alert me when I get 20%, 40%, 50%, 70%, and then let's say 90%. I don't need for 100% because once it's 100, it's over. So I need to alert me before that. 100%, that's when you want to program this and tell him, when I get 100%, I want you to delete my billing account and everything will stop. But that's an advanced stuff. Let's not talk about this. So we're just interested about the alerts. And now what happens, let's say, for example, I got it for free. As we see here, we got it for 90 days, which means that if I got 50%, for example, I should have it in 1.5 months if I am respecting how I'm consuming the money. But imagine at 2 days or 3 days, I get 50%, an alert telling me you consumed 50%. That's an issue. That means that I'm overusing my resources, or maybe I do it on purpose. It's up to you. But an alert, this is something so you can get an idea about how your resources are consumed. And now the alert, you can get the alert by email, you can get them by Slack, you can install the mobile application or Android or iOS and get the real-time alert. The good thing about the application is that you get also the Cloud Shell, which is so if I come to Cloud Shell here, that's a free Ubuntu, you get for free this one. So you can test, for example, sometimes you need to do some stuff on Linux on your mobile. You don't need to install anything on your mobile. You just go to the application, Google Cloud application. And if I come here and then I do cat etc OS release, as you can see, I have Ubuntu for free. And then if I do free H, and then as you can see, I already have 50 gigabyte of RAM for free. That's already included in the project. So when you get Google Cloud, there are some services that are free. But those services, even if they are free, they are useful, as you can see here. Now, why do we need the Cloud Shell? Because sometimes we need to do some commands on our machine to, for example, gcloud command or Gemini, CLI. And instead of installing them on my machine and having this problem about latency, I can work directly on Cloud Shell and then directly communicate with my project, which are distinct. As you can see, as you saw earlier, when I get to Cloud Shell, I got some authorization pop-up. Why? Because they are distinct. The VM in Cloud Shell, it's outside my project. That's why I need to authorize to make them communicate. This is like I'm using my own computer communicating with, speaking to my project on Google Cloud. So this Cloud Shell, and by the way, before we close this, Cloud Shell is not only the console, but we have the Cloud Shell editor. What is Cloud Shell editor? If I zoom everything and then I open editor, you will get like VS Code or VS Codium online for free. So as you can see, that's Cloud Shell editor, and it's also free. It's included in the project, so you don't have to pay for this, and it's free. So when you get Google Cloud, you will get like some services are paid, some services are offered like to help you use those services. So it's an amazing platform. You will learn a lot on this platform. So now that you understood this, remember, billing account is the most important thing. Then in billing account, you need to enable the API to be able to use them. So now there is something else before we end. As you can see, this project, this Gmail, when you create a project, this project, you can load it on AI Studio. So if I come to AI Studio and use the API, I can ask here, I tell, so let me can zoom this. Where is, oh. So I come to get an API, and here I can ask to bring, as you can see, I already imported my project directly here. So you just need, since they share the same Gmail account, it's easier to import your project, and then you will get build your AI Studio. It will be bound to your Google Cloud account, so you will only manage one single billing account. That's a good trick you can use if you want to use AI Studio at the same time with Vertex AI and Google Cloud and all that stuff. I hope it's clear. And sorry again for the webcam. So if you have any question, you can ask me in the comment or contact me on LinkedIn. So thank you very much.